Good morning, good afternoon, happy Tuesday, April 8th, everybody. Welcome to the Solar Warrior Tribe, Power Hitters. Everybody's welcome. Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, every Tuesday. Team training coming to you live. Tom Cotter is unfortunately not able to attend today, but I'm joined by my identical twin brother, Chris Bernasso. What's up?
Hello, hello.
Where are you calling from?
Hola from Medellin, Colombia right now.
How many countries have you been traveling and working the last 2 years?
In the last year and a half or so, I've been to over 10 different countries, traveling around, doing this business virtually, remotely. It's been awesome.
That's sweet. Well, there's a success story for you guys already, but yeah, type in the chat where you're calling from. If you're new here to Power, watching this, listening for the first time, welcome. We always like to kick this off with success stories, so please raise your hand. Come off mute here in just a second. Type one in the chat if you're shy. But we want to hear if you've got some leads that you presented to. Maybe you're using the tariffs as a closing tool. Maybe you're loving the GoodLeap PPA, the Powerwall. Maybe you got an ambassador. Maybe you had a new setter sign up for some passive income coming your way. We would love to hear any sort of success stories at all. Don't be shy. Looks like some people are typing them in the chat. So as you want to raise your hand, guys, we want 2 or 3 shares. Troy Combs in Las Vegas. I received a lead from my very first install this morning. Heck yeah. Nice job, Troy. Pete Frost, BNI checked in here. Good to see you guys. Colorado. Sweet. Big team meeting Friday. Congrats. Several new setters, Vince. And, I'll speak for my brother and myself. My brother's joined a BNI group lately with a lot of momentum and opportunities. And I had a sale not even a week ago with an old seller. We're getting him reactivated. And that customer has given us 2 referrals already. Already. She signed up a week ago. And I'm also excited for SolarCon next week to see a lot of you guys. Mike Craner, good morning, good afternoon. Let's hear a success story, my friend.
Hey John, got a couple. Finally got a install date for somebody I've been working with for over a year. She failed credit. We kept her going. So once she got close on her credit, kept working with her. She even needed a roof. We got her to I started her on cash, got all the preliminaries out of the way on cash, and when we were ready to install, ran her credit again, got her in. So we'll be installing her in another couple of weeks. I've got um, a lot of response on recruiting, and I've got some really top-notch guys that are coming on board, getting through the certification. Two of them should be on the call today. Not sure if they're getting in there yet, but one from New York State who will be initially working in Connecticut. And I think I mentioned to you, want to try to see, he's very interested in building the market in New York. I know we've got initiatives in that area, so if we can hook him in, that's great. Got another guy, senior guy, worked at the National Renewable Energy Labs. He's going to be coming into the Colorado market. And both of these guys really super experienced. I'm really excited to work with them, to learn from them. So yeah, so pretty cool.
Nice.
And yeah, we got through some difficulties with the domestic content stuff, getting GoodLeap, switching over to domestic content and making that all happen. I saw some really good numbers come through with the change to domestic content on one of my proposals, which was going to die on the vine because of township restrictions, causing us to use some bad panel areas and stuff like that. And basically, the improvement in the rates associated with using domestic content on GoodLeap are going to make that a viable project. So that's all I have
Nice.
for right now.
Awesome, Mike. Appreciate your share. Sales and install, some team building. and some good products. So good to hear overall you're earning on all the different facets at Powur. So nice work.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, we'll keep moving here. Type any more success stories in the chat. I know a few of you are already, and we're gonna do a little something new here since Tom's off for the day. But Tom does a quote of the day, and Chris has recruited hundreds of consultants in Powur, one of the biggest team builders, a seven-figure earner, and we're gonna let him share a team building corner, a tip of the day, and set the tone here. So go for it.
Awesome. Yeah. And, one of my success stories last month was I recruited over 30 people, with Power 4.0. It's just a game changer, right? Different companies are going bankrupt, struggling, not paying commissions out. So a lot more people are looking at Power right now that it's free and remove that barrier has been awesome. And so we use for recruiting, typically you guys have seen like our 15-minute video. So this website right here, if John wants to click it, the solarmodel.com, this is just a generic website that we have that any of you can use. And we've updated it with a new 10-minute video about Powur. This is just something to get out quickly now that it's a free model. John and I will do more of a professional video in studio next month. We'll be staying at Encinitas for a whole month. So we'll get a new one filmed. But if anyone wants to use this website, you can share it with prospects. There's no contact info, nothing like that. It says get back to the person that sent you that. So you can use that to share the business opportunity with people and go from there. And make sure, guys, I've been seeing some new recruits. They're a little confused about recruiting, what link to send. A lot of people are using the seller prospecting link, and that just is it just sends you an email. So make sure to tell your setters and make sure you guys are using the seller join link, not the prospecting link. I already talked to the marketing team. They're going to reorganize this list right here. We have a lot of websites now, so we're going to organize this and give, more tips and tricks on which one to use exactly. So the seller join site, use that. If you have your prospects email, go ahead and fill it in on your seller join page for them, and then Powur is going to email them the invite. So that's a little tip for you guys as well.
Very good. Good tips, good advice. And we'll keep this moving here, ladies and gentlemen. So yesterday, we had an operations live update that was fantastic. I'll give you guys some highlights here in a second. And last night, we had a special Powur Hour with an announcement from Jonathan Budd. So if you were on last night, the Powur Hour presentation or Jonathan Budd's announcement, drop a 1 in the chat or give us some feedback if you thought it was a great Powur Hour. I'll take the compliment. Thanks. And but more importantly, the biggest announcement, industry shaking, that's going to create tons of recruitment. So we'll get to that in a second. We'll also get to SolarCon in a second. Exciting announcements here. And then this one's big. April 23rd, I'll be live from studio with my brother and Charles Thompson. Powur 4.0 Master Class. Couple hours starting at 9 Pacific live, broadcasted nationwide, worldwide. So that's going to be a very, very powerful master class. And Powur World Las Vegas, guys, to be open with you, September or possibly October, we've trying to narrow it down to 2 locations. It's very difficult to work with the different venues and dates and events and craziness. So more to come there ASAP. Direct message me if you need more information. But powurconvention.com, get your discounted ticket. This is going to be the biggest Powur in-person event of the year. Hundreds and hundreds of people will be there. You do not want to miss in Las Vegas. And go ahead and type any questions in the chat. Some of the leaders or my brother will be able to answer any questions as we go through this. Some more updates for you before we get to today's agenda. SolarCon. Powur is going to be there in force with a booth and 1,000 square foot private room. We're going to have Jake on our private stage with Jonathan Budd. We're going to have business presentations on our private stage. And then there's going to be 3 days of jam-packed content. Guys, look at the Sharks are going to be there from Shark Tank. David Goggins was announced. And unfortunately, Tony Robbins had a last-minute urgent eye surgery that he's going to take 2-3 weeks to recover from. So he will not be able to make it. But I'm so excited for this event, especially with our industry announcement we just made last night. So if you want to buy a ticket, go to attendsolarcon.com/power. Get your VIP ticket. It's only $350. And then if you can, if you've paid for SolarCon, if you're going to SolarCon, if you're getting a hotel room, if you've upgraded your ticket, I put a form in the chat. This is going to help us show support and tell SolarCon that we're coming in force by letting them know who has signed up for VIP or Platinum or bought hotel rooms. So appreciate that. And I hope to see a lot of you guys next week, April 15th through 17th in Las Vegas for this awesome solar industry event. Okay, social media shareable of the day. I already did this on my LinkedIn this morning, and I'm going to encourage you to also do some sort of post. I'm going to put the image in the chat, and I'm going to put my script in the chat. And it's also in the Google Drive folder under social media shareables in our Power Marketing Google Drive. This is my personal Google Drive. I'll put it in the chat. Tons of videos and images. And there's a folder called Social Media Shareable that you can go ahead and open up. And then April. And I've got some pictures in here. And there's that $2,500 image. So this is your social media shareable of the day. This is going to help you with team building. Highly recommend posting it on LinkedIn or Facebook. And the script is big news for solar pros and closers. M1 Advanced at scope of work. Most companies pay 0 or way less. Power is now free to join. Pays up front, pays big. Message me for details. Join us today. And we're going to get to the details on this massive announcement last night. Last few weeks, we had other social media shareables as well. So again, if you're not posting once or twice a week on social in between your personal happy posts, funny posts, you're not doing your job, guys. So make sure to post on social media. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram is your digital business card. So make sure you guys are doing that. Don't be a secret agent. Today, discussion. We have updates around the M1 milestone. If you are a setter here and you're new, this will not apply to you at this time. Maybe in the future or maybe not at all, but that's going to be mostly a sales pro and a closer conversation and update. We're also going to speak on tariffs and tax credits and see what our CEO recommends around that. There is a contest going on for everybody right now called Vanguard. I'm going to show you some details and update you on that. I'll do some quick high-level updates from yesterday's operations call. And then we'll get into some compensation plan updates that have occurred these last few months and get into the meat of it. So really, really solid updates here, guys. We'll get through it pretty quickly. Again, type questions in the chat. I will do open office hour Q&A towards the end here, but today is just really intended to get through these big updates and get you back in the field and back selling. So last night, again, we had our Power Hour. I'm going to put this in the chat here. This was Bobby Smith introducing me, 20-minute brand new business presentation, an interview with Chris Bernasso and Julian Todd Borden, two mega stars in the solar industry and power, followed by a massive announcement with Jonathan Budd. So if I were you, I would get that Vimeo video in the chat. I would bookmark it. I would watch it. I would download it. I would chop it up into reels. I would put it on my social media. I would share it with anyone that has ever looked at joining Power, period. Anyone that used to be in Power. Power is now free and giving the biggest M1 advance of any company in our industry, period. This is just a massive, massive tool for you to go run your business and do a lot better. So make sure to use that. All right. So first off, I'd like to cover last night's major announcement. If you are a sales pro or a closer and you're receiving an M1 milestone, that's an upfront payment at scope of work, work order confirmation. That's about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks on average from time of sale. If you sell a clean deal, all your paperwork's in, that survey's happening quicker and quicker these days, and we're getting to scope of work quicker and quicker. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, you would receive in advance an M1 milestone of $2,500 or up to 40% of the total commission. And if you notice the fine print there, there's a very teeny tiny small fee, 15%, just of the M1 advance only, that would be deducted at M2 milestone. And we'll cover this in a minute, but M2 milestone is 80% of the remaining commission within 72 hours of install marked complete. So this is very small fee. This could be a $200 fee or a $300 fee or $375 fee to receive $2,500 up front. That's massive. Think of it like a small, teeny tiny adder, a little bit of a fee to get that advance up front. Go invest it in the market or crypto or whatever you want. Use it to grow your business, get gift cards for clients. And then, guys, this is just such a massive recruiting tool. Chris, I want to ask you for a second. From a recruiting perspective, solar pros, closers, team builders, business owners, I mean, I know you're excited to go back to everyone you've ever spoken to in 5 years and tell them about this.
Oh yeah.
How do you plan to use this from a team building perspective?
Yeah, it's great like a news update. I do campaigns, I do text blasts and email blasts and circle back with different solar pros, just kind of keep them top of mind. So this is an amazing thing to promote out. I work with people that are in solar or not in solar. So when you can promote something that is solar related, then the solar professionals are really going to click with it, right? So if you can do some text and emails and promote, hey, M1 commissions now $2,500, anyone that's in solar is going to take a second look and going to be interested and want to learn more details. So for me, I'm going to be emailing my database of thousands of people that I have about this new M1, about the increase, and just get interest and try to get people to watch that video, try to get them on a Zoom and
Yep.
chat about it with them.
Yeah, I was hanging out with a solar business owner over the weekend. His guys only get paid M2 after glass is on roof. There's no M1 in his company. Only one of his 6 lenders that they work with are giving an M1. His sales reps do not get M1s. And now we're giving $2,500. So now there was a little feedback from people that don't want this fee. And the feedback from Jonathan Budd is Powur had to pick a lane. We either had to do this M1 with a small, tiny fee, or we had to do no M1 at all. And from an investor, a shareholder, guys, we're all shareholders. From a recruiting perspective, this will be tenfold like growth and passive income and help us out. So this is the option. You can opt in for the M1 with a small fee, or you can opt out if you don't need the M1 and wait for M2 72 hours after install mark complete. So those are the
What's
two
great
options that we need to get behind. Yeah.
What's great is this is also helping the setter guys. We're recruiting hundreds and hundreds of setters now that we have Power 4.0. And a lot of them right now with the economy, uncertainty, inflation, everything, they need that money. So, some closers that have been in the industry a while, they might not need to get that initial payment or have the fee, but this is just going to incentivize our setters. And that motivation to keep setters when they can get more money faster will keep them on your team longer and more happy and more motivated. So I'm super excited about how this is going to really amp up our setters and set them up for success.
Okay, so we'll get it more into the details of the compensation model. And Chris, maybe you could see the chat there for any questions. The revenue share team building does not change. And yeah, some of us may opt out for M1 and some of us will opt in for the M1. And I have a few sales team leaders that are already excited to go recruit a few sales pros already as of last night, just because of this announcement. The value proposition here, Jonathan covered it so eloquently last night, but when you look at everything that Powur has for our value proposition, when 50% of the industry has gone bankrupt and other companies are struggling, we really are in the right place at the right time with the right platform headed into summer with everything that we got going on here with 25 states of coverage. And our NPS scores are increasing slowly for customer and seller service. So if you have any questions on the M1, type in the chat if you don't mind, and we'll get to more questions later here. The next category I'd like to cover is tariffs and tax credits. This is just a real quick message from Jonathan Budd. Follow up with your homeowners now. Tell them to sign their contracts now. Manufacturers are increasing prices imminently because of these tariffs. There's a lot of turmoil and chaos and headwinds going on right now. And hey, maybe we can take advantage of it, as I'm sure it will calm down very soon. But in the meantime, there will likely be price increases in this next week or so. And these tariffs all went into effect literally overnight. So let your clients know, follow up with them. Hey, there might be price increases. I can only guarantee the price till the end of this weekend. You know, do what you need to do. You're a business owner. Come up with the promo, come up with the call to action. That's on you to do that. So follow up and get them to sign. And then a lot of discussion I've been hearing around solar tax credits, the ITC, you know, the IRA, Green New Deal, Inflation Reduction Act. I have not heard any indication of the 30% tax credit going away, or what a sunsetting could potentially happen, but I have not heard any whispers of that. That would require voting. And I mean, if you want to use that to let your customers know, we do not know the future of the tax credit, so act now. But as far as that goes, guys, I would just rest assured that at this time, it doesn't seem like there's any notion of the tax credit going away soon or even being sunsetted at this time. So that's just a good call to action there to get some more deals signed. The next thing I wanted to cover is the Powur Vanguard contest. It's 2 contests in one. If you've received a t-shirt, let us know in the chat. But this contest has been extended. So I'll go ahead and break it down for you. For all of us that are already in Powur, this contest goes till April 30th. Or if you've joined us this month, you will get 30 days for the contest. That's how it works. When you join, you get 30 days. If you've been in Powur, it was just extended to the end of April. So what does that mean? If you get 5 appointments or a contract, you get a t-shirt. If you get 10 appointments or 2 contracts, you get a hat. And you can see here, you could get this nice Vanguard polo with just 15 appointments, which is 3 contracts. And then you can even get these awesome Nike shoes with just 4 self-generated contracts, which is about 20 appointments. You can get all of that outfit and that exclusive swag. Now, on the team building side, you can earn team building points when your team has these activities as well. That means that your team building efforts, they will get their 30 days. It could potentially go till the end of May. If you recruit someone at the end of April, they will get 30 days to earn these swag items, and then you will get sponsor points. Okay, so that means this contest is essentially going till the end of May. So on the team building side of the contest, you will get points You can see here 1, 3, 5, or 10 when your team that you brought into Powur has a contract or 2 or 3 or 4. And there will be prizes here. 30 people with the most points are getting jackets, backpacks, headphones, bikes, luggage, and even a Rolex. Check your email for the latest updates and the leaderboard on Powur Pioneers. But this contest, I'll keep going here, is twofold, and it has been extended till April 30th. So that is the update on the contest. And I believe the number of appointments is just to give you an average of what it takes to get the contract. Oh, set 5 appointments. My bad. Or one self-gen contract. It does sound like it's either or there. 5 appointments that have sat. So I don't think you can double dip per se. I think it has to be 10 or 2 contracts, 15 or 3 is how that looks to be. But you can email marketing at Powur to learn more about that. Extended till April 30th. All right, moving on here. A few highlights from the Monday operations call yesterday in case you missed it. Really fast, I'll breeze through this. NPS from a seller perspective and NPS from a homeowner's perspective is doing pretty good the last few months. We're really making strides here with our new scope of work, work order confirmation, other systems that we have in place. And I'm excited for site survey scheduling and feedback from the installer and communication and visibility I'll get to in a second. So yeah, right here, seller and installer messaging coming in Q2 for faster visibility. And I've heard that even site survey scheduling could happen in the next few quarters as well. PM huddles, they are going to have more availability within 24 to 48 hours to schedule that huddle. So again, read milestones, read notes, read tickets, ask live chat, drop a ticket, schedule a huddle. And then if you still can't get something to move, use the escalation email and talk to your leadership. So everybody has a 7-point step to get resolutions done, and PM huddle is an awesome one right here. The installers have a brand new Powur Score scoreboard update, which is going to incentivize them to do quicker work and do better. And the excitement is pretty high. A lot of meetings with our partners and installers here at Powur and the relationships that we've cherished. NPS, again, is on the rise here. And some market cycle times. You can see the Q1 here, contract to project confirmation is averaging 20 days. And you can also see project confirmation to install is around 50 days. It's been as low as 40 days as well. So we're headed in the right direction. There's been a lot of headwinds on, Sonova, Powerwalls, backup switch, inventory, different things like that that have held back some of the timelines. And here you can see the fastest timelines. Nevada, Texas, Virginia, Florida are moving pretty quickly. And, California, you can't get around the county fire approvals, the batteries, the permits, the AHJs that don't look at a permit for 30 to 50 days. It is what it is. Set expectations and set yourself up for success. Sure, we can tighten these up a few days, but we are headed in the right direction. And if you want to go focus on a fast install state or market, this is a good list to look at. New products coming, new Enphase products, as well as a meter collar backup switch for Enphase. And that's it from the operations update highlights. And then we'll go ahead and move into the compensation plan part of the training for today. And yeah, I definitely send that list out to you, Zach. I think my brother can get you on our mentor chat and get that that data over to you. And then I have asked the team if the recording of the Monday forum can be shared in knowledge base as well. I don't think they've uploaded it just yet. All right, y'all. So appreciate the patience. I want to talk on the compensation plan. Some of this might be basic for you. This is all a good refresher, even for me, to understand the compensation plan. And we're going to not cover every single aspect of the compensation plan, but we're going to cover a big part of the heavy lifting here. So the first thing I wanted to talk about with the compensation plan is what is qualified? When you're qualified, you can earn revenue share. If you're trying to unlock your level 3 and you need 5 recruits qualified on your level 1 to earn on level 3, qualified is really important now. This will make sense a little bit longer later here. Qualified to earn revenue share after a qualifying act. You are no longer qualified in your first 6 months. So that means if someone joins us and they recruit someone that has a sale that installs in Nevada in 20 days, they won't get revenue share until they themselves are qualified. That's important. And also, if you're team building, just because someone joins you does not mean you have a qualified person on your team. So let's look at the details. Sellers are qualified to earn team overrides, revenue share, when they have 1 personally generated contract or 3 partnered contracts as a closer in the prior 6 months. This is the same as it's always been. 1 contract every 6 months keeps you qualified. Not too much to ask there, right? In addition, we've created a new alternate path for sellers in their first 90 days. Newly joined sellers can be qualified with just 3 confirmed appointments or sits. After they've been with Powur for 90 days, this alternate path will no longer keep them qualified, and they will need the qualifying contracts. So that is a very important thing I wanted to call out here. Type any questions in the chat, and I'm going to keep moving on with the compensation plan. So first off, we have a setter. That used to be called Tier 1. A setter is free to join. It's a 20-minute certification. They have quick pay that I'll cover in a second. Now, I don't like to tell this to everybody because quick pay is so amazing, fast pay, quick pay, but they could turn that off if they do not prefer the quick pay payment model. They get full access to the platform, ambassadors, team building, and everything Powur offers. Nothing much has changed except the quick pay is amazing. No longer Powur costs anything and a 20-minute certification, guys. And if I were you, I'd be thinking big. What office of a broker owner can I speak to with 100 agents where each agent is going to be a setter? I know Charles Thompson has 1 or 2 big organizations with 1,000 sales reps in an alternate industry that could all be joining as setters here pretty soon, the next few months. So think big with this setter model. Number 2, Sales Pro. This used to be called Tier 2. A Sales Pro, you can become a Sales Pro immediately if you've proven 12 months or more of solar experience with a LinkedIn or resume and a license if it's needed in that market. Otherwise, you can become a Sales Pro after 3 or more deals sold with a closer. You have to have another certification that takes a few hours. This role is also free. You can close your own deals and get the full commission, 70-30 split, cost of goods plus. You get full access to the platform, ambassadors, team building, and more. And I'm going to pause for a second to see, do setters have to close a contract personally every 6 months to be qualified? They just have to have a contract closed, Derek. Yeah, thank you, Zach. Or 3 sits for their first 90 days is how that shakes out. All right, I'm going to go on to closer here. And then we'll look at the actual PDF compensation plan before we move to Q&A session. So closers, this is what we used to call tier 3. You can become a closer after 5 deals sold 100% on their own, and another certification that takes a few hours. This is $85 a month. There you go. $85 a month, and you get the privilege and the honor of being able to be tagged by our network of setters and sellers or other closers. Anybody can tag you on their leads, and you get to earn half the commission. So yes, $85 a month, and you're representing Powur's brand here, and you had to take another certification. I'm looking forward to doing a training on this that's called Closer School, School of Closers. To get that honor here on our platform, it comes with the responsibility, and the best closers have the best tools and training and techniques. You get the full commission, or if you're splitting the deal, obviously you're going to get half the commission, full access to the platform, ambassadors, team buildings, and more. All right, guys, I've got 1 or 2 more things for y'all, and then we'll do some question and answer session here. In my Powur Marketing Google Drive, I have a folder called Powur Corporate Agreements. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. Some sales pros, organizations, businesses want to see these documents, and they're in knowledge base, by the way. So I'm going to go to knowledge base and type compensation plan. And right here, we're going to be able to look at the setter fast pay. And there's even a calculator here as well. So first I'll touch on the setter pay, and then we'll finish this with the revenue plan compensation plan from March 14th in knowledge base. So for our setters, they have fast pay turned on by default, and they get paid when a proposal gets presented. So it's very important if you're a closer to market proposal presented, and that is going to be on your track record as well. 0 to 5 appointments presented in a month will get them $50 paid on the following Friday, which is great. And then you can see as more appointments are presented in a month's time, that $60, $7,500 can escalate as well. And that gets, again, paid on the following Friday. And then there is an average commission paid from 20 to 27.5% of the margin. So anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 of the margin gets paid. So there's no M1 with fast pay, but they're getting tons of money the following Friday with this fast pay. In my opinion, I prefer fast pay. I don't think they should turn off fast pay. So keep the fast pay on, get hundreds and hundreds of dollars the following Friday, and then get a large majority of the commission when it installs. So this is the setter pay. And you can read more about it in the knowledge base article here about the seller role, sales pro, and closers as well, and different qualifications. And there's excellent calculators, and there's brand new flyers as well. You could put your information in if you guys saw that in the email. All right, let's go ahead and look at the compensation plan PDF that Powur has. This is in knowledge base in my Google Drive, and I'll drop the link from knowledge base in the chat here. So I'll go over a few basics here of the compensation plan. Most of you guys all know that Powur operates on a 70-30 cost of goods model, not a baseline, red line, actual cost of goods over the cost. You get to set the margin. You know, very common example here. If it's $1.85, maybe this is Texas or Arizona or somewhere, they sell to 10 kilowatt for 35 grand. There was $7,000 of adders. The project margin is almost 10 grand, which is the average at Powur. That means the commission is 70% of the margin, which is $6,650 in this example. And then the revenue share that floats up with 6 levels of revenue share is going to be $1,400, and Powur gets to keep $1,400. Now, the team revenue share overrides is on 6 levels, and on average, it's about $500 to $600 when you recruit someone on your level 1 that sells a deal. They install it, get paid their M2, and the following Friday, you will receive your revenue share passive income, $600 on average, or 6% of the margin. On level 2, you can see it's 3% on average, $275 to $300 is the passive income when you brought in someone that brings in someone with an installation. And if you look to the right here, you do not have to have any qualified sellers on your front line technically to receive this override revenue share. You yourself need to be qualified, 1 contract every 6 months, to receive this bonus revenue share. So this was an update lately that they made, which is great. We all get 2 levels of revenue share, guys, without needing a single qualified person on our front line. If you want to earn 3 levels down, you have to have 5 or more qualified sellers on your front line. You've brought in 5 people that are all qualified, and then you get the right to earn on your 3rd level down, which is 1.5% of the margin, on average $170 or so. And then you can see as well, level 4, you need 10 qualified on your front line. Level 5, you need 20 qualified frontline. Level 6, you need 30 qualified frontline. A little bit of the fine print. To count as qualifying, you must have 1 contract every 6 months or 3 contracts with the closer every 6 months. We covered that. Level 5 and higher will automatically waive the need for a personal contract in order to earn team bonuses. So if you maintain 20 qualified sellers on your front line, you no longer need to worry about selling a deal every 6 months. This is going to be for a massive team builder, organization, company owner that can bring in 20 qualified sellers or more. They don't have to worry about selling a deal every 6 months. Inactive sellers canceled their subscription will compress from the team's genealogy after 6 months. And if the project is partnered with a closer, half of the revenue share goes up from the seller and half of it does go up from the closer's leadership line. Equity bonuses still are a thing here. We want to go public in the next 2 to 3 years. Powur sellers, hopefully all of you are shareholders already, because on your first install, you're receiving 25 stock options. The ability to exercise them at something like $3. And then if you have a consultant you've sponsored, on their first install, you're receiving 12 stock options. If you're able to do 25 installs or 50 installs in a year, you will receive 250 or 750 options as well. And this counts for the first 2 years from you joining these performance goals. Those numbers have came down. That's not hard to do in your first 2 years, especially if you're a sales pro or a closer. The closer program, as we covered, it's a 50% commission, and all users start as a setter before upgrading to Sales Pro. Setters who wish to become a Sales Pro must partner with a closer on their first 3 projects. Once you've sold 3, you're eligible to become a Sales Pro. So we covered all of that. If you have a year of experience, they've changed this to where you can prove it and take your certification and get early access to being a Sales Pro. 5 deals on your own can give you the right to become a closer with another certification. We also covered fast pay and setter commission, and the commission schedule has just changed a little bit. But as mentioned, if you receive an M1, then that is usually within the first 2.5 weeks of a contract sold. And then M2 is 80% of the remaining. And that's within 72 hours of install mark complete, generally speaking, business days. And then M3 is a 20% remaining, and that is when the project reaches permission to operate from the utility. The only big change here is that the M1 is now up to $2,500 or up to 40% of the commission. All right, so that is the bulk of today's training. I want to go ahead and pause and check the chat. I know Zach and my brother have been leading the chat there, so I appreciate it. And you can raise your hand if you'd like. That way we can let you come off of mute. But you know, guys, just in closing here, the compensation plan is just the most robust in the industry. You saw the value proposition Jonathan showed last night. You have all the tools. The M1 compensation is insane. No company's doing that. You can earn different ways here if you want to teach others, sell your own deals, build a team, get ambassadors. I mean, pick your lane, pick a few lanes, and just put your head down and do the activities. You know, I always say we get homeowners interested or we tell people they can make income in solar. That's it. Don't overcomplicate this. Put your head down, put your swag on, post on social media, talk about it, reach out to your warm sphere, take the setter surge training, tell everyone about it, share the good news. That's literally what you got to do to have a life of freedom with great income, travel the world, do whatever you want. So I couldn't be more excited. And I want to live in a world of abundance, guys. Yes, we have work to do. Yes, solar can suck. Yes, there's going to be some operation challenges. Does Powur adapt and evolve and help us every other month? Hell yeah. So I want to be in abundance. This new model, this new M1, summer's here. We're going to kick butt. We're going to keep thriving. We're going to be able to schedule site surveys one day. We're going to do roofing standalone one day. We're going to get our sales up, front end growth as we slowly get better. The pay is the best in the world. Everyone always has an opinion. Everyone always thinks there could be a way to do it better, but I am all about living in a world of abundance. And I invite you to manifest that reality with me. If you're game for that, type yes in the frickin' chat. And let's go ahead and move to Q&A session.